My name is Santosh Reddy. I'm the founder of Somireddy Law Group. We are a full service law firm with offices in Virginia, New Jersey, and India. My core areas of practice include immigration, litigation, corporate and employment law. And now and then we do handle other areas of law, including criminal and family law matters. Okay. So before we get to the topic, I wanted to give a small disclaimer. Please note that anything that we discuss here today should be construed only as a friendly discussion. Okay, hence you should not act upon any information that we are going to be sharing today without seeking the assistance of an individual counsel. Okay, neither Somireddy Law Group nor TTA is assumes responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in this presentation. Okay, also this does not create an attorney-client privilege. So here is how we're going to do it. Okay, I know we have set a few topics for today's discussion, but based on the audience interest, I'll be willing to discuss various topics in more detail compared to other topics. Okay, so as you all know, I know a lot of people wanted to get some immigration updates. So just to quickly go through it, the October 2022 visa bulletin actually had a lot of unwelcome news in the form of significant retrogression of employment-based visa categories. I know a lot of people have been waiting for their green cards, and then the dates have retrogressed. Okay, so again, please don't worry about it too much, because starting October 1st, again, the new fiscal year will start, and then more visa numbers will be made available. And as long as the number of applications, the 45 applications that are currently pending with USCIS, and those applicants whose priority date is current, I haven't yet to file the 45 applications. If it's less than 140,000, then there is a good chance that the dates could move forward. Okay, so just to give you a background of how these visa numbers are allocated and why I feel that the dates could continue moving forward, maybe in a few months, but may not move at the same pace as it did last year. Okay, so in general, Congress allows a total of 675,000 green card to be issued per year. Okay, out of these 675,000, 140,000 visas are allocated to employment-based category. Okay, but in the family-based, typically they issue a minimum of 226,000 visas and up to 480,000. So in these numbers, any immediate family members, right? For example, certain categories like spouse of a US citizen, or children of a US citizen, or parents of a US citizen, for them there is no limit. Okay, so once they use up those numbers, whatever is left over will be distributed through the family-based category. Okay, again, most of these family-based visas are issued abroad. Okay, and because of the pandemic situation, the consulates have not been operating at their full capacity even now. Okay, so whatever the family-based visas that they are not able to utilize will overflow to the employment-based category. Okay, first we will go to the EB1 category. If there are not sufficient applicants in EB1 category, then it flows to EB2 and then into EB3 eventually. Okay, so last year approximately 146, there were 136,000 some number visas did overflow from the family-based to the employment-based. So that's why the dates were moving so fast. And even now, since the consulates are not operating at their full extent, okay, I'm hoping and I'm positive that the dates will continue to move forward, but not at the same pace as it did before. Okay, so first, as I mentioned, first you'll go to EB1 category, right? So if there are not sufficient number of applicants in EB1 category, then it will go to EB2. And then if there are not sufficient number of applicants in EB2 category, it goes to EB3. Okay, again, there is a per country limit for each country, and that per country limit is for the total number of visas allocated, right? So for example, India can get only 7% of that 675,000 visas available. Okay, but there is an exception to it. So sometimes if there are more number of visas available, then they could allocate those numbers to countries like India and China, which use up the 7%, right? But it is applied in the same quarter. So it's hard to predict those numbers. Okay, and also it is hard to predict how the visa return is going to move, because we don't know how many number of I-140s are currently pending with USAS, and multiple, like there are a lot of individuals who have multiple I-140s. So it's tough to give the exact number, but in general, I am hoping that these dates will continue to move forward. Okay, I know right now the dates are in 2012, but I'm assuming that in maybe 3 or 4 months that you will start to see the dates moving forward again. So does anyone have any questions regarding this so far?
I think there is one question, maybe it's not related. As per USAS, there are 49,000 pending in EB2. So all the spillover visas, which is 60K from family-based FB, will be allocated to EB2.
No. Yeah, it does not always happen that way. It's tough to say that. First of all, the family-based will be will spill over to the employment-based EB1 category, and then it does go through the EB2 category. Yes, but again, it depends upon the total number of what do you call, like the EB2 applications that are currently pending. But there should progress, but not retrogress. What are your thoughts? Yeah, as I mentioned, Raj, like I agree with you. I'm assuming that the dates should move forward, especially the fact that like the constructs are not completely operational yet. There's a good chance that the dates would move forward. So we will see fresh numbers from November. Yes. So we'll see fresh numbers from October, but they might take some time to evaluate all these. So I'm assuming that you'll see the numbers moving forward from maybe December or January. Again, please don't hold me to this one, but this is just my expectation.
One more question which says, what happens to those applications that are already pending with USCIS and dates retrogressed?
Good. So USCIS is going to continue reviewing those applications, and they will, like, once it's approval, they will keep it on hold for the visa numbers to be available. And as soon as the visa numbers are available, they will approve those petitions.
Okay. And do they approve any order? No, right?
No, actually, see, here is the thing. So there are a few cases that we filed in June 2022, and they got approved in August.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the same time, like in 2 months, at the same time, we have cases that we have filed in October. They're still pending with USCIS.
So there is no particular order. It is a random luck.
Yeah, I would say that, because recently we filed few cases which got approved quickly. Okay, and then again, we at the same time we have some cases that are pending since for the past 2 years, and we have a few cases where one of the spouse received the GC, other spouse is still waiting on getting the green card approval.
Yeah, it's a partial. I think I know some of them. I think out of 4 members, 3 got, and one important person need it urgently. They don't have.
Yeah. What is the status on visitor visa? Visitor visa, there is nothing has changed, but of course the visa dates are not available as much. But other than that, nothing has changed on the visitor visa side. So next question, I'm currently working on employer B, previous employer A file I-140, 485, I-140 is approved, 485 is pending. Once my priority becomes current, will there be any issue? Will I educate my 485? I'm still working for employer B. Good. So Shravan, I'm assuming that you were employed with employer A at the time of filing I-140 and 485, right? If that is true, and then if you continue working for them for 180 days, After that, you can move on. There's no issue with it. So the typical rule is that the employer must have the intent. GC is for a future employment. Okay. But the employer must have the intent to hire the employee at the time of filing perm, I-140 and 485. Okay. At the same time, the employee should have the intent to work in that position at the time of filing perm, I-140 and 485. Okay. So if the employee was actually employed with that employer at the time of filing these three and then 180 days after, then there is no issue at all. So you can move on to a new employer. Okay. But sometimes what happens is these employees, like they're not employed with that GC sponsoring employer at the time of filing 485. If that happens, then you are required to work for the GC sponsoring employer once you get your green card. Again, you have to be very careful in these situations because we don't want you to be submitting 485J from some other employer, saying that they are the ones who will be ultimately hiring you for the position, in the permanent position. If you do that, that's pretty much misrepresentation because you didn't actually have the intent to work for that employer from the beginning. So you have to be very careful when doing that. Does anyone have any questions regarding this?
Yeah, actually, my case is very similar. I recently made an employment change and my new employer did not even, they're going to start my GC processing. But with my old employer, let's say my dates are getting closer, right? My priority date is getting closer. And I spoke with my old employer and they said, you can file 485 with us. And once it gets approved, you need to join us, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
as long as you join that employer, you're fine. Okay.
Yeah, but my question is, will the current, let's say I file 485 with them, and meanwhile my current employer, they started my I-140 and everything. So once I file 485 with the old employer, I cannot proceed with green card with the current employer. I can still proceed with I-140 or not? Should I? That's my question.
Yeah, I know it's a strange situation. The thing is, you should have the intent to work for that position.
Yeah, because here the question is, I might be filing 485 with my old employer and the dates got retrogressed. And my current employer, I don't want to stop my green card processing because this is like a bigger client. So I'm kind of confused what to do in this case.
Okay, depending on whether your perm is certified, as of the day your date becomes current, you have to make a call.
Yeah, actually my date came close and it became retrogressed. Now it is not current. So
okay, so is your perm certified or are they still in process?
The perm is not yet certified. They're still in the process. Yeah.
When will they file the perm?
They didn't. They are in the very beginning stage. Actually, they're still.
Okay, they're at the very beginning stage. I recommend sticking. Like, okay, you can do this one, but if you're filing 485 using your old employer's I-140, then I highly recommend that you go back and work for that employer once you get your green card.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. But the problem is, let's say I filed 485 with my old employer and the dates got retrogressed. So even to get GC with the old, I don't have any issues joining the old employer once I got GC. But my concern here is, let's say I filed 485 with them, my dates got retrogressed. I won't get GC immediately, right? In the meanwhile, the current employer may move. I may get I-140 with my new employer.
It's okay to get until the I-140 thing, because until I-140, it's the employer who files it. You don't file it, right?
Yeah, but can we have two 485s filed or you can have only one 485?
You can have multiple 485s, but it becomes, I would not recommend, you could have multiple. For example, you can have one 485 as a dependent, one as a principal, but I would not recommend having two 485s from two different employers as a principal applicant.
Okay, yeah, that's my question.
Okay, because you are actually contradicting yourself by doing that.
Yeah, that was my concern actually.
Yeah, I would not recommend doing that, because see, the issue is, if there is an interview, right, you should be able to convince the officer that you have the intent to work in that one particular position.
Yeah. So basically, you're recommending once I file 485 with my old employer, I should not even proceed with my GC processing with the current employer, not even I-140.
Don't file. We can do the I-140, but don't do the 485 for now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So basically, I think what Santosh is saying, you could continue what you're doing. So try to file 485 with old employer, and with new employer, you can go ahead with I-140.
Yeah, because you should have, I should only, as long as you're intending to work for that old employer, you file 485 using that.
I think you don't need to start work immediately, right? Once 485 approved.
Yeah,
and
once the
you
485
get
is
a green
approved,
light.
then you need to start working. See,
Yeah.
there is nobody who's going to come check you whether you're working for the GC employer. But when you file for citizenship application, there they might catch it. Right? There they might say that, hey, you got your GC through this employer, you never worked for that employer in the first place. Right? But if you have worked for that employer for some time, then it shows that you intended to work.
So next question is, my GC is approved, my spouse didn't, my date retrogress in October. What happens to my wife's GC? Is she current?
That's a good question. They might approve her GC too. She's on EAD advanced payroll, right? With pending 485 application, she's on EAD. Okay, that's fine. They will approve it at some point. Like they will approve it.
Okay. So next question is, what's your guess estimate of movement of dates for EB2 India by end of fiscal year 2023?
I cannot guess that now. But I'm hoping that the dates will continue moving forward. Are there any implications that the appointment get cancelled when they take the appointments together, broker? Good. So actually, you have to be very careful when using these brokers in India. Okay, because there are few there are few brokers who have been saying that they'll be able to get secure visas and all that stuff, and Department of State is cracking on those. So we don't I would not recommend using any broker to obtain these visas.
This is a general question, what we got it from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Santosh Garu. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there is anyone who has actually received appointment, right, before all this thing happened, so you could tell them that, hey, you use them only because to get the appointment, and that they did not promise you anything, or like whatever happened exactly. I am GS. My question is, my 45 is transferred to field office. Is visa number allocated to this? No, there's no guarantee that the visa numbers are allocated once the petition is moved to the field office. Even if the interview is scheduled, the visa numbers are not typically allocated. When the petition is fully ready to be approved, like when it's fully ready to be approved, that typically that's when they issue the visa number. Sometimes what happens is they think that the petition is ready to be approved, issue the number, and then they see something is missing. They might issue an RFP, and then once you submit it, then they might approve it, right? But that happens very rarely. Oh, Suma, I'm a US citizen. My mom lost her visa passport, got her new passport recently. If you apply now for a visa to US, any guess how long it might take for her to get the visa appointment? Well, right now it is taking over a year to get visa appointment.
Namaste, Andy Somireddy garu.
Namaste, Andy. Cheppandi.
My question is how the 245K section works with the jobs. If somebody is out of job for 3-4 months and again back into jobs because of this pandemic, a few of our employees had this issue. So when we are about to file their 485s, just got this question.
So are you referring to the employment-based category or family-based category?
Oh, employment-based category. The section 245K works sometimes.
Yeah,
somebody
so that it typically applies if a person has been out of status or worked unlawfully. Okay, I don't know. Can we discuss this offline, because I want to get more details as to why this is happening to your employees.
Sure, Andy. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, because 245K, yes, we typically have those situations in like family-based or even sometimes employment-based too, if they worked without authorization and all. But I need more details on this one.
There are, I think, few other questions on getting visa from Mexico or Canada.
Can you go for H1B extension Dropbox in Mexico? I don't think this is an option in Mexico.
There's no drawbacks. I think if it is a new country, you have to go with the consular process.
Yes. What's the process? Yeah, I don't think there is a process for that one. What do you think of going the route of paying third-party people? No, do not do that. Satya, please do not do that. Okay. Can I travel to other country and get visitor visa? Yes, but it's risky because they want to make sure that you attend visa interview in a state in the country where you reside. Any scope of major movement in EB3 dates? Yes, if they're not major movement, that there could be some movement based on the number of visas used up by the EB2 category. October moves date move back. In which month my date will be current? I'm hoping that Sandesh, I'm hoping that your date will be current again in a couple of months or so. My 485, I want the advance payroll and 75 applications are pending with USCIS, but I did not get a advance payroll. Also till now, can I file service request once they cross this threshold passing date, even though my dates have retrogressed? Yes. So the fact that the dates have retrogressed will not affect your EAD advanced payroll application, should not affect your EAD advanced payroll applications. In fact, you should be able to get 2-year EAD advanced payroll if your dates are not current. Okay, so if it is outside the processing time, yes, then you can go ahead and open a ticket.
I filed.
Family from 2013. Okay.
Yes.
You have to wait quite some time. Right now, the dates are in 2008.
Oh, because he's not moving for last couple of years, right? Last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
There
I
is
want
no
to.
moment. Again, this is one of the reasons because they're not able to use up those numbers too.
Okay. So my question was that I filed for my son. I'm the citizen here for last 15 years. My son, unfortunately, he is not getting even visitor visa because of some emergency. He want to come here and he want to go back.
Yeah. So
enough.
there is another issue also here. So do you have any grandchildren?
I have one granddaughter over there. Yeah, in India.
Okay. How old is she?
She is like 11-year-old.
11 years old. Okay. So even she may have issues getting her F1 visa unless she's able to get her green card, right? Because there is a good chance that she might age out by the time your son and his family gets his green card. Yeah, so your son and daughter-in-law might get the green card, but your granddaughter might age out, and it may also affect her chance of getting F1 visa. Because F1 is a purely non-immigrant visa, so but she could always try H1 at a later point of time.
So right now, how I can get visa for him to come here? Any chance?
The problem is he may not be like, see, he'll be considered as a potential immigrant, right? So since he's considered as a potential immigrant, he may have issues getting B1, B2 visa. But he can come here on a dual intent visa like H1, L1 and all. So he could try H1B visa.
Okay. But by if he come to Canada and then he can apply from Canada to here, something like that?
Yeah, if he comes to Canada, becomes a Canadian PR or a citizen, then he can apply for a visitor visa from Canada. So Rajesh, I-140 from employer A, move to employer B, prior date becomes current. Does employer B be able to file 45 when employer B perm is in process? No. So in order for employer B, like in order to file 45 using employer B's petition, they should have a certified perm. If they have certified perm, then you can do 40 and 45 concurrently. If they have I-140 approval, then you can just do 45 directly. Okay, but you need to have a certified perm from them. H4 approval notice is lost. Okay, file form I-824 and request another copy.
Yeah, actually, my lawyer said the current processing times for I-824 is 15 to 18 months. And anyway, I have to file my H1 extension in 15 to 18 months. Does it make sense to file 825, 824? If not, is there any implication?
Do you have a copy of the approval notice?
No, I don't have it.
Then how do you know for sure that she has a valid I-94?
Because I filed her H4 based on my H1 extension, right? I got till 2024. So
that does not mean that she received H4 until 2024.
Okay, so we need to mandatorily file 824?
I recommend getting it because we don't know when does her passport expire?
2024, I think.
Okay, make sure to check it. Okay, and I highly recommend request a copy because you don't want to take chances.
Okay, but anyway, I have to file my extension in few months. So, okay.
Well, even when you're filing for your extension, right? So you have to mention your voice 984 information. how would you mention the I-94 information without having the I-94 copy with you?
The I-94 information, I can get it from the USCIS portal where it is, where it's updated actually.
I don't think that is updated. Check it. Are you referring to the I-94 retrieval?
Yeah, the portal where you can get your
Yeah,
I-94.
that's the date based on her based on the
Entry.
I-94 that she received at the time of entry.
Yeah, I got
Okay,
it.
so
Okay.
check it though.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take any chances. I recommend firing and getting a copy of it.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, question. Someone asked a question here. Please, could you check with Santosh on GCEAD restrictions on opening any businesses? Example, LLC, restaurant, or commercial property.
There is no, like, if you're on a GCEAD and if you're on the as a dependent, right, not at the primary, then there is no restriction at all. Just go ahead and you can do any legal business.
Okay, thank you.
Either GCEAD or H4EAD, there is no restriction. The
It's only
restriction
for
applies
primary.
to EADs.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Nisha. Yeah.
Shiva. Yeah. Santosh bro, quick question.
Yeah.
Like indak meer Satya cheptunnaru kada, like don't go for a third party to book the visa slots in India, right? But
Yeah.
quick question ఏంటిది అంటే ఇప్పుడు I mean third party నుంచి book చేసుకుంటే like agent book చేస్తే problem ఏంటి, and first thing visa can be decline చేస్తారా? Second thing, ఇప్పుడు సెకండ్ది మనకు దొరకనివి వాళ్ళకి ఎట్లా దొరుకుతున్నాయి?
వాళ్ళకి ఎట్లా దొరుకుతుందంటే బేసికలీ దే ఆర్ చెకింగ్ ఇట్ ఎవ్రీ మినిట్. వాళ్ళకి అదే ఫుల్ టైం పొజిషన్. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమైందంటే దేర్ ఆర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఏజెంట్స్ హూ ఆర్ చార్జింగ్ ఎగ్జార్బెంట్ అమౌంట్స్ అండ్ దెన్ దే ఆర్ like looks like they are even promising that they have somebody they cancellate through whom they are able to secure the visa appointments and all that stuff, which is illegal, right? So వాళ్ళ పైన క్రాక్ డౌన్ చేయడానికి, like that's how all this came into limelight.
But booking visa slots through an agent is an illegal?
Well, it is not illegal by itself, but USCIS, the Department of State, has been really strict about it. I know some people who had issues with this one, but as long as you can show, like you could definitely argue that you did not, they did not promise you anything except for getting the slot, because you could not spend as much time looking at the website to find the slot.
If they ask the question in that,
Yeah. So just mention that, hey, you were looking for the slots, you could not find it, and then because you needed somebody to look at the slots every minute or every hour, and then these agents were like, you found somebody who was willing to do that for you, but you need to be clear that they did not promise anything else apart from that.
Oh, okay. Now I okay, get clear now. So the people are promising except visa slot and
They
visa
are saying
approval
that
also?
they know they have some connections at the embassy and that they are able to secure these appointments.
Okay, is it true that they're tracking the IP address through?
It is true. It is true. There are a few investigations that are going on. Of course, we don't have the complete picture about it, but there are investigations that are currently going on, and Department of State is aware of this.
Actually, can I ask a question on? So one question that my lawyer suggested is for that I-94, she for the H4 approval notice loss, he told my wife to go out of the country and come back. Is it a valid?
That's a good option if she has a valid H4 visa. Does she have a valid H4 visa?
No, she has to go for her visa appointment as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my issue. Okay. Do you think she can get a visa appointment quickly?
We already made a booking. Yeah, I made a booking for her. Next year she got it on June. She has a visa appointment that day.
Okay. Yeah. So but still you should have filed for the 824 ahead of time, because see, assume that for some reason USC has granted her H4 only until Jan 2022, right? For some reason, maybe they made a mistake, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Then she has been unlawfully present in the country from then until now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
That's a huge risk that you're taking. I highly recommend still, don't worry about, like, if money is not of a concern to you, go ahead and apply, get a copy of it. You may need it for your future records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Santosh,
okay. If you have a duplicate copy, that's more than enough. I'm not asking you to have an original. Even H1B approval notice also, all you need is just a duplicate copy. That is more than enough.
So I think from Divya, or maybe you could read out. It says, my case with NBC, Priority date August 2013. EAD AP extension also pending. Filed in Feb 2022. Can I travel to India in Jan when 485 is pending? I have to go for H1B stamping.
Let me explain you the regulation. Typically, a 485 applicant, if they travel outside the country before receiving the advance payroll, then their 485 application will be considered abandoned and denied. Okay? But there is an exception. So if you are currently on H1B and then you intend to come back on H1B, right? Then the 485 is not considered to be abandoned. In your case, since you don't have a stamping, I recommend that you wait until you get your advance payroll, then travel. Because for some reason, if your H1B visa is denied, right? And most probably your I-130 will be denied, I-131 will be denied if you travel while it is pending. If that happens, then you will not be able to even enter into the country. Okay? So I highly recommend that you wait until your advance payroll is approved. Does that answer your question, Divya?
Yes, Somireddy garu, but I have few more questions. Like, I
Sure,
think
go ahead.
I'll pass on to my husband. He's
Sure,
the right
sure,
person
sure,
to answer.
Hello, Andy. Namaste. The situation is like my application just went to NBC in September. So even I submitted my medicals, everything are there in the NBC, but it just went from Nebraska to NBC in September around 12th. So my priority date is like August 12th, 2013. So even my EADAP is filed in sometime in February 2022. So it is still pending. So I'm expecting it should be arrived before January travel time. But in case if it is not arrived, it is not approved EADAP, that is where my question is is it like?
Yeah, if it's not approved, I would not recommend traveling. Okay. But in case of emergency, you will be eligible to apply for an emergency advance payroll. Okay. If there is any like dire emergency, then they usually issue advance payroll, which is valid for 30 days.
Okay, got it. If my wife can travel in case any
Same thing for your wife also. See, since she does not have stamping, right, it's not worth taking the chances.
Got it. Yeah.
Because for stamping or to be denied for any reason, advance payroll will also be denied, of course, right? And then she'll not be able to enter back into the country.
Got it. Yeah, this is very typical condition because just I can wait for another 6 months. Maybe my GC can come up also. So that is where. That is okay. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for clarification.
Thank you.
So thank you, Santosh garu. In the interest of time, right? I'm going to quick help with questions.
Yeah.
So next, someone is asking, can we apply EB2 and EB3 with same company?
Of course, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So next question.
Is it for the same position or different position?
Same position.
Yeah, same position, no issues. Because see, EB2, it's the position is the same. EB2, EB3 are different channels that you are using to get the green card. That's it.
We can apply, right?
We can apply. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question. My husband currently in India is holding H1B and somehow we are planning H4 for him. Once he reach US, what all challenges are there again converting back to H4 to H1B?
You should be fine, but typically I recommend that you wait for a few months, maybe a couple of 2 to 3 months before applying for the change of status to H1. Because we don't want them to if not, they might think that, hey, you just try to use your H4 to bypass having to attend H1B visa, right? So if you wait for the 90 days and then apply for a change of status, so all your employer, the new employer has to file as H1B new employment change of status from H4 to H1.
Okay. Hi, Santosh Rama here. I think I
think I received your email, right?
Yeah, correct. Alandi, H4 నుంచి H1 కి వన్స్ కన్వర్ట్ అయ్యాక H1 ఏమైనా క్యాన్సిల్ అవుతుందా ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత?
సారీ, మళ్ళీ అడగండి.
ఇండియన్ H4 నుంచి H4 వేయిస్తాం కదా ఇప్పుడు, H1 ఏమైనా క్యాన్సిల్ అయిపోతుందా?
H4 వీసాకి వెళ్తే H1 క్యాన్సిల్ అవుతుందా అంటున్నా మీరు?
అవునవును.
H1 approve అయిందా ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ?
H1 వ్యాలిడ్ స్టాంపింగ్ 2024 వరకు.
H1 వ్యాలిడ్ స్టాంపింగ్ ఉంది. స్టాంపింగ్ పక్కన తీసి పెట్టారు. మామూలు H1 అప్రూవల్ నోటీస్ వ్యాలిడ్ ఉందా అంటే does he have that same position still?
Yeah, but he is holding H1B visa in some ex-employer, but he is working in some Y employer now.
So he is working for Y employer. So can he get H1B approval through that Y employer now?
No, that is not possible. There is no position. We are planning through consultancy. Any one of the consultants.
Okay, so here is the problem. Okay, the issue is not with filing H4 to H1. Okay, the issue is whether he is subject to the cap or not. Okay, so in case the employer revokes the H1B approval, right, within the same fiscal year, or if USCIS conducts a site visit and then they revoke the H1B stating that the position did not exist, right, because he's not working in the position.
Yeah.
Right? Then the cap number could be recaptured. So if that is done, that happens, right? Then you'll have to go through the lottery process again.
Okay, if we will come through H4, is it possible like H4 on dependent my?
See, if no matter whether he's coming on H1B or H4, right? The initial cap petition should not have been revoked or withdrawn.
I'm just reading from the chart, Santosh bhai.
Yeah.
My friend H1B from India, last year H1B 2021 to 2022 is still showing as document is being held for 180 days. It was completed 180 days ago on 12 September 2022. What is your suggestion how to resolve the issue?
I didn't understand.
Santosh Reddy, namaste.
Where was this held? Is it at the embassy? What is it?
Vilas bhai,
Santosh Reddy, namaste. Nenu
Vilas bhai.
Bagunara, thank you.
Yeah.
It's really appreciate Anna community service you are doing and wonderful all the inputs. Thank you. This case is from one of my friend applied India from one of employer. So his case is not approved anything.
So the case is still pending with USCIS?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, the case is pending.
He got RFE for education evaluation. He submitted education evaluation. After that, 6 months onwards, no update. Last 7 months.
Last 7 months, there is not. Did you open a ticket?
No, not yet. So how to?
Yeah, they can just the employer or the attorney can go ahead and open a ticket.
So how many days it will? If you open the ticket, how many days?
So usually they respond to your ticket within 30 days.
Okay. So after that,
then we'll know exactly. Sometimes maybe I don't know if there is an issue with his education documents.
Okay.
Or maybe
the ticket is one option. Do we need to go for premium process or no?
Instead of going like premium processing is also an option, of course. If you apply for premium processing, they have to review the petition within 15 days. If they don't do that, then they have to return the money back, right? So if money is not a concern, yes, you can opt for premium processing also.
Okay, first option is the ticket. If nothing work out, then we can go for.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Santosh.
Yeah.
Okay, Santosh, your next question. Our priority date is June 1st, 2012 in EB2. Receipt date of October 2020. Recently, 485 status got changed to case remains pending. What are our chances of getting this fiscal year?
This fiscal year is gone, right? They have already used up the numbers. Most probably you'll be receiving it early next year, like end of this year or early next year.
Yeah, Santosh, yeah, we are talking about fiscal year. This fiscal year means the starting from October 2023.
Okay, yeah. There is a good chance, like if they have all the documentation, they should be able to approve your petition.
Okay, thanks, Andy.
Yeah. Most of the people who filed in October 2020 are receiving green cards.
Okay.
Or unless they are, most of them have already received, but there are few that are pending, and then maybe yours is one of those cases. But you should be receiving it soon.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
The next question, Santosh Yaru. While 221G is in process, employee A sent withdraw notice to USCIS and it is approved in 20 days. But 220
Is
was
it
the approved
employer
with
or employee who sent the withdrawal notice?
Employee A.
Employer A. Employer.
Sorry. My bad.
Employer.
Employer A.
Okay. So you went for visa interview using employer A H1B?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So what 220 was already approved with employee A and stamping also done. Can I come to the US with employee A stamping and I did not show the employee B and okay. So do one thing. What you could do is say employer A has withdrawn the H1B, right? That means the position does not exist anymore.
Exactly.
What you can do is either employer A can refile the petition or another employer B can get the H1B approval. Then you can get the H1B approval from employer B and use this employer A stamping and then enter into the country.
నో అండి నేను ఆల్రెడీ యూఎస్ ఎంట్రీ అయిపోయాను ఎంప్లాయర్ ఏ స్టాంపింగ్ మీద కానీ ఎంప్లాయర్ ఏ స్టాంపింగ్ మీద యూఎస్ ఎంటర్ అయినప్పుడు ఎంప్లాయర్ బి అప్రూవల్ వచ్చేసింది కానీ నేను పోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎంట్రీలో ఎంప్లాయర్ బి కొత్త I-797 చూపించాల ఎంప్లాయర్ ఏ స్టాంపింగ్ చూపించాను.
You should not have done that. ఒక పని చేయండి. Just to be safe, travel to Mexico or Canada. Okay. Take your new employer B H1B approval notice. Okay. Come back into the country so that everything will be straight.
Okay.
Do that at the earliest.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. The next question: if it is about a year to get a visitor visa appointment for my mom to US from India, then it would be faster to get Canada as my sibling is there than from Canada to US. Please suggest else applying for a green card might be faster for her then.
Well, the green card is also taking a lot of time. Okay. So applying for green card through consular notification is taking a lot of time these days because we have cases wherein the I-130 got approved and NVC notification was sent in early 2020 and the visa interviews are not been scheduled yet. Okay. So visa interviews are taking a lot of time. Best way is like if they're already here on B1, B2 visa, then it's easy to get the green card by filing I-130 485 here. Again, if they're not able to secure B1, B2 directly to come here, then yes, they have the option of going to Canada and then staying there for some time, applying for a B1, B2 from there. That's optional. That's option is always available.
Okay. The next thing, my wife H4 is expiring on September 38th and H4 EAD is expiring on October 10th. We applied for H4 renewal in April 18th and we are still waiting. What are my options?
Hold on, which question is that? I just want to look at the number. Who sent this message?
Funny.
Last నుంచి ఉంటుంది చూడండి. Last నుంచి.
Okay. My wife H4 is expiring on September 30th and H4 EAD is expiring on. We applied for H4 renewal and we are still waiting. What are my options? See, once you apply for H4 renewal, you can continue staying. Okay. Did you apply for H4 EAD also? Extension?
Yes. Yeah. H4 EAD extension would apply Monday. Yes.
So she is not eligible for that 540-day extension until her H4 is approved.
She gets a new I-94, right?
Yeah. Once she gets a new I-94, then she can continue working. Okay. Until 540 days from the date her current H4 EAD has expired.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I think we have few more minutes.
And then I think we have only last question, Andy. So
yeah.
And can I travel to India on EB3 EAD plus AP that is valid and it was approved this year, February, with other applications pending on EB2 after I interfiled this year?
There is no issue with that. See, when you did the interfiling, there is no change in the 485 or I-130 or like I-765, right? You use the same 485. Okay. All you did is disconnecting it from one I-140 and reattaching with another I-140. That does not change anything. Okay. So you're free to use EAD advanced payroll. There is no issue with it.
Yeah. Thank you, Santosh garu.
Okay.
Thank you for answering all the questions. Mana TTA President Mohan garu vacharu. Mohan anna, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks Santosh.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You did a wonderful job. I was listening, you answered all the questions left and right without any kind of, thank you for all your service. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Adokate kaakunda, you helping us a lot of, helping us in the convention, as well as whenever we require some kind of support for to do the events, I want to thank you and your team for doing wonderful support. And hoping that we'll have more and more sessions, help the community. That way, a lot of the problems of people who have this kind of question, they were able to help us.
Thank you. Yes, we are happy to be part of TTA, and we'll do our best to support the organization in any way possible.
Yeah. And also I want to thank my community service team, Shiva, Narendra, as well as Nishant, everybody, they're doing a wonderful job as a community services, particularly immigration front. A lot of questions they're able to answer and helping the community. Thank you guys. Wonderful job.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohan Garu. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session.